So good morning, good afternoon and good evening for the participant and presenters from different time zone. I am Thurai Jayaraman. I am moderating this session. As you know, bamboo is integral to the culture, lives and livelihoods of numerous communities. It is traditionally used for a number of sustainable applications and as an important source of income. Bamboo is a food, feed and fodder construction material, energy substitute, INBAR substitute, which enable the poor to participate into the numerous market segments. The key advantage of the bamboo is, so it is annually harvestable, it is one of the fastest growing plant and it is available locally. It is very simple to process because it is lightweight compared to the timber, and then it provides opportunity for the smallholders, for the small, micro and medium scale enterprises to start an enterprise with small investment, and at the same time the high-tech and high-end production enterprises are possible with huge investments. Bamboo is a versatile resource. There are over 10,000 product and utilities. It is also an important globally traded commodity. The internal production and consumption of the bamboo is valued at over $60 billion, and the international trade is valued at $2 billion. Different countries in the global south, say China, India, Vietnam, Indonesia, African countries and Latin American countries have prioritized bamboo to propel livelihood development and environmental management. Though the benefits of bamboo to the communities are huge, the benefits are not fully understood and it is not realized in many countries. As you know, the bamboo resource, the socio-economic condition, infrastructure, political and administrative systems, as well as the enabling condition, plus the stage of development is different in different countries. It is not possible to copy or apply one country's enterprise experience to other countries' enterprise. However, it is possible to adapt or adjust according to our context. This webinar session will focus on different proper livelihood development strategies using bamboo and enterprise models validated by different countries and organizations aimed at poverty reduction and rural employment development. During this session, presentation on large-scale industrial-led model and private sector-led craft enterprise model, social housing model, and social enterprise model will be showcased. It is important for the participant to contextualize the bamboo development situation in their countries and regions based upon the webinars and from our presenter. Our first presenter is Professor Zhu. Professor Zhu is the former Deputy Director General and currently a distinguished fellow of INBAR. He is the senior researcher of the Chinese Academy of Forestry as well. As a senior researcher, he has been conducting forestry research for more than 50 years. This important research relates to the secondary forest rehabilitation of high-graded lands, optimization of agroforestry model, and sustainable development of NTFP products, and most importantly, bamboo. Professor Zhu's presentation will be on the analysis of the bamboo sector progression and the lessons learned from the bamboo sector development in the Anji County of China. So I invite Professor Zhu to make a presentation. Floor is yours, Professor Zhu.
Anji, to explore the multiple function of bamboo forest. Anji is the most developed bamboo sector in China and over the world. People always say if you want to know bamboo in China, you must visit Anji first. The basic information about Anji is Anji is a small county in China. The area is 1,886 square kilometers. The forest coverage is 71%. Population is 459,000, and the forest bamboo forest area occupies 38.2% of total area. The GDP in year 2017 is 40.5 billion, and the capital GDP is 11.9 thousand US dollar, and per capita disposable income in the rural area is about 4,500 US dollar. And now I brief introduce about the bamboo in China. The area of bamboo in the last 40 years, the increase only 0.32 times, but the output increased 2.2 times, and the total production value of bamboo industry in year 2007-8 only 3 million. Now is 13.87 billion yuan, increase 4,600 times. The change, and also you can see primary, secondary, and territory. Their ratio was changed in the past from year 2010 to now. In the years 2010, the primary processing primary industry is 5.6%, and the territory industry is 12%. Right now is the territory industry occupies 31.3%, and also the primary industry only occupies 3%. So the majority is also secondary industry, but the ratio was a big change. And here we talk about the contribution from bamboo to the economy of Anji. In 1990s, 60% of income of rural people from bamboo industry, but now is reduced to 41%. And the glass production value from 40 to 20. So also the importance of the bamboo industry in Anji also will be reduced. And here we talk about the three industry. The first primary industry in year 2010 is 0.75 billion, but now is 0.68 billion. So it's relatively reduced. And the secondary industry from 11 billion increased to 13.8 billion. The territory industry from 2.6 billion increased to 6.5 billion. So you can know the structure of three industry is totally changed. And so first we talk about the primary industry in Anji. Every year produce 30 million columns of moso bamboo and 70,000 tons of other species of bamboo and 60 tons of fresh bamboo shoots, and another 60,000 is from other parts of bamboo, for instance, the branches, leaves, and the top part. And the secondary industry in bamboo, now the value is 13.8 billion. So, and the enterprise also from 30 increased to more than 2,000 enterprise. Among them, 12 their produce value exceed 100 million yuan. Bamboo products include panels, mats, curtain, food, and beverage, and handicraft, textile, and by chemical and by energy is more than 3,000 different kind of products in 9 series. The total annual output value reached 2 billion yuan. That is from so-called waste material utilization. Anji machinery manufacture occupy 80% of market in China. In the total the territory industry will include the ecology and cultural products. The total tourist number is about 15 million. That is 32.5 times of the local people population. And also they developed the farm stay, 800 farmers household, and also with more than 10,000 beds. Every family of farm stay, their income more than 500,000 annual. And the full utilization of bamboo biomass and develop of ecology and cultural products, the part of presentation. In the initial stage in 1980s, the great challenge is utilization of the columns is very low. For instance, if you produce panels, utilization is less than 25%. And if you produce chopstick and toothpicks, only 1%. And this is the picture show you initial stage. The large amount of the waste material was difficult to deal with. And this picture show you how to use different parts of the bamboo biomass. Now, at the beginning, the utilization rate was so low because every company, they buy the raw material and also the processing and the final products. So that is why the utilization is so low. But now, all the raw material not directed to the factory who produce final products. They first sent to the pre-processing factory, and in the pre-processing factory, they cut it in different places and for the different company requirement. This is the give you a picture about after the pre-processing, what will be happening. Only 16% of products is for the half-finished products, and 40% become sawdust, and others is the base part, top part. So if you not use those so-called waste part, utilization only 16%. Look at the best part. It's the best materials for the charcoal. And also middle low part of comb is very good for. We talk about the middle part of the combs. Because this wool was thinner than low part. It's very good for producing slavers for the other products like bamboo mats, bamboo curtain, and carpet. And it's good for produce the slavers and for make mats and carpet, and also for the handicraft, like basket and the middle part of combs is good for produce the pressed bamboo, like lumber, so they can produce all the products like wood lumber, like flooring, like outdoor and construction of bamboo. And also we developed the new technology of walling composite materials. And for the high-tech product. And the top part of combs is good for chopstick, toothpicks, and scaffold. And the whole bamboo comb will produce bamboo poles for export, and also can produce fiber for textile. And we talk about the leftover materials after processing, pre-processing, like sawdust can produce the and pellets for the energy, and also some chips in industry for paper, and the branches can produce some handicraft and blooms, and the leaves can produce some chemical materials, flavor, and others is for animal fodder and drinks. And for about the rhizome and the roots, also good for bamboo carving and for the handcraft and brooches. And very important products is bamboo shoots. The value is even more than corn. And this is for export to Japan. And also this is a fast food, ratio food. And this is a big market of the Lulu bamboo, fresh bamboo. And also the sheaths can be used for handicraft, for fibers, and fast food pork. And also we have many small waste materials after processing. You can see so many products from a small piece of the waste. And also the bamboo, not only they have produced biomass, but also they can provide the fresh air, fresh water conservation, and also for the beautiful landscape. So they were very good for the ecotourism cultural products. This is the film movie base, the shooting well-known movie. And also they established the bamboo market. And fourth stage, we talk about the history of bamboo sector development. We divided in. The first stage is from the 1970s to the late of the 1980s. This is the main task is resources development, established the high yield corn and shoots demonstration forest of bamboo. And also the hybrid to the low yield of bamboo forest. And also here for the stage is traditional products. For instance, the bamboo poles for construction. Stage 2 is from late of 1980s to year 2000, because we introduced the machine. So the industry processing was developed very rapidly. So here, large scale of bamboo processing was carried out. So for instance, enterprise is from 30 to more than 2,000 manufacturers. So this stage mainly focus on economy to increase the income of the rural people. The stage 3 is the ecology was given the same priority after economy, because after developing industrial processing, they have many problems of the pollutions. So the government pay more attention for the environment. So, and another is ecology and cultural products of bamboo forest was started. And the fourth stage, because in year 2015, the per capita GDP is more than 10,000 US dollar. So it is the initial stage of modernization society in Anji. So many people, they go into the another industry, and so in this stage, we have some challenge. For instance, the lack of the labor, and also the government environment control, and the processing cost was increased, and also the farmer manage the bamboo forest is less interest. And the fifth stages, in order to solve above the conflict and the challenges, so they identify the skill management of the bamboo forest. So the farmer, they can unite together, establish as a cooperative. And the industry development zone was established to increase innovation for the high value and high quality products. And also the government, the beautiful countryside construction and rural revitalization of projects will give the opportunity eco and cultural products, and fully play the carbon sequestration and the carbon trade, develop bamboo agroforestry and the bamboo forest for increase the value of bamboo forest per unit, and develop a bamboo culture industry. They establish the bamboo film base, and also them park, and also the craft design center, and bamboo hotel, and bamboo restaurant, etc. So conclusion, different stages of development has different challenge, different measures and policy should be applied to resolve this challenge and conflict. This process is a continuous and create processing. One must have accurate understanding of the development role of the bamboo sector to facilitate its sustainability. Your attention. 这个要
Okay, thank you, Professor Zhu. I think your presentation is like very in-depth and analytical, and it is also very important for us to understand that the Rome cannot be like built in a day. It takes like some 5 steps, and it takes a few years to cross like one stage and then like move to the another stage. We have like very interesting questions like which we can follow it up after we complete all the presentation. The second presentation will be by Mr. Pablo Squardo. He is our colleague and is currently working as the technical officer for INBAR, the Latin American and Caribbean Regional Office. He has over 10 years of experience in sustainable development with focus on the rural development, family farming, food sovereignty, diversified production, alternative marketing, and short market circuits. He has immensely contributed to the formulation of the regional, national, and local bamboo policy designs with like multi-stakeholder participatory approach for like benefiting the bamboo sector. Today, his presentation is on the bamboo social housing enterprise model, which is being trialed in and validated in Manabi province of Ecuador. So the floor is yours, Mr. Pablo.
Good evening and good morning to participants in both sides of the world. My name is Pablo Izquierdo, and I'm going to talk about the Bamboo Social Housing Enterprise Model, a case in Manabí, Ecuador. First of all, I want to thank for the opportunity to be here with all of you. What I'm going to talk about is general aspects of bamboo in Ecuador, bamboo construction in Ecuador, the social enterprise model in bamboo housing, the supply chain, enabling frameworks, bottlenecks and opportunities, and lessons for developing countries. Well, bamboo in Ecuador. Ecuador is part of the global south where bamboo is located all over the world. And Ecuador is a country in South America in the Pacific Ocean, and Manabí is one of its provinces that is located in the coast. Here you can see a picture of a typical family farm where there are many crops. It's a diversified farm. You could see here like pastures and tagua, for instance, or trees, coffee, cocoa, banana trees, and bamboo. Ecuador has around 600,000 hectares of bamboo, most of them in natural patches in farms smaller than 5 hectares. Manabí is the province with the greatest presence of bamboo, mainly Guadua angustifolia, or Guadua cane, as it is called locally. Bamboo in Ecuador is distributed from the sea level to up to near 4,000 meters above the sea level. Now, bamboo construction in Ecuador. Well, bamboo has been used for construction all around the world. An estimated 1 billion people worldwide live in bamboo housing. And Latin America has 10,000 years of history using bamboo for construction. Here you can see historical records from house foundation of Las Vegas culture, for instance, in the province of Santa Elena, also in the coast. And another draw here from the 1736 houses in the Guayaquil River. Typical bamboo houses in the rural coastal area are still used, and more than 500,000 people in Ecuador live in bamboo houses, and they are concentrated in 5 coastal provinces. But also modern houses are built and designed with bamboo, as you can see some examples here. There is also tourist infrastructure, like for hospitality, and a big restaurant with bamboo, which is very close to Quito, the capital of Ecuador. Social housing is another area where bamboo is being incorporated. The program House for All from the government has set some requirements for social house, and it's related to the cost, around $2,500, almost 57 square meters, 2 to 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, living room, 1 bathroom, and is designed for people with disabilities. From this opportunity to incorporate bamboo in social housing, many prototypes from the private and other sectors have been developed, like this one. These were developed and designed by local provincial governments, Santo Domingo, Manabí, and Pichincha. The universities have also played a role here, and this is an example from a University of Manabí, the University Eloy Alfaro of Manabí, with also some prototypes. And the international cooperation as well have developed some prototypes, as this bioclimatic house developed by INBAR and the Spanish Agency for International Development Cooperation, and the municipality of Santa Ana, also in Manabí. From that house, another prototype with 3 bedrooms, which was a new requirement from the Ministry of Housing, it was also developed. And more important, the inclusion of bamboo by the Ecuadorian government in social housing project, like this community building, which was inaugurated by the President of Ecuador, President Lenín Moreno. When the whole project was finished, they have this meeting on the bamboo community building. And there is another social project in Pile, Manabí, with 27 houses to be constructed with bamboo with this design that is already going. Here it's another picture that is important. The community building we talked before, it's replicated in another social housing project, and this is in Esmeraldas province. And although the houses are not made of bamboo, it's just cement and concrete, conventional materials, but bamboo is being incorporated as part of the whole project. So the community building is there with bamboo. Now, the role of bamboo in family farmers is very important. Bamboo provides part of the income that the farm generates for the family. And this is also important to recall as the first picture we saw of the farm with different crops. Bamboo is part of it. Self-consumption of bamboo for housing and productive infrastructure represents around $460 a year, and that is more than the minimum monthly wage of $400. There are more than 200,000 farms with bamboo, and 55% of them are smaller than 5 hectares. Bamboo provides environmental benefits to the farms and contributes to traditional and cultural rescue, and 12% of agricultural employment in Ecuador is related to bamboo. Now, the model I want to talk about is a social enterprise model performed by UNODEC, which is a medium-sized local bamboo producer association in Manabí, conformed by 11 small associations. Each of them has around 80 participants, 80 associated, and UNODEC established a social economy enterprise to collect, preserve, and sell guadua bamboo, mainly for construction. UNODEC strongly work on community work, plus strategic alliances to improve their facilities and their infrastructure in order to offer quality homes according to the national bamboo construction standards, and is recognized at different levels. For instance, there's a visit of students from a university from another province that went to see their model. There's a visit of the Ministry of Agriculture in the top right, a visit from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from Spain, and also UNODEC has been invited to present their experience to different seminars like that one in Peru. UNODEC also promotes training, capacity building, and entrepreneurship to its associates. And it's part of the Ecuadorian Bamboo Sectorial Roundtable. And this is important since the example of the community building we saw, it was designed and constructed by members of the Sectorial Roundtable. And also the Pile houses, they were not constructed, but also they have some advice and suggestions from the roundtable. What is the supply chain for UNODEC? Well, they buy bamboo from local producers, and they pay a better price than they would get from an intermediate. And they buy the bamboo locally, mainly from their associates, but also to other producers from the area. They deliver and treat the bamboo. They clean it, they drill it, and they preserve it, classify it, and dry it. They will store it or split according to the demand that they have. And all the earnings that the association has, since it's a social enterprise, is distributed among all the associated. Now, what are the enabling frameworks for this kind of experiences to be developed? First of all, the Ecuadorian Constitution defines the economic system as social and solidary. And this is a big change. Actually, we also have a law about social economy that promotes association and social enterprises. There's also a law for the promotion of entrepreneurship and innovation, and also a productive promotion law. And there are some local instruments, policy instruments, as this municipal policy for bamboo management and harvest in the municipality of Santa Ana, where the bioclimatic house was built. There are also some standards, strategies, and guidelines for bamboo construction, in particular the National Bamboo Code for construction with Guadua. There's a National Bamboo Strategy for Ecuador, and many guidelines for bamboo construction with a barrique technique. Regarding the bottlenecks and opportunities, well, the House for All program is one big opportunity. It plans to increase home ownership from 56% to 95% until 2021 for extreme poverty population. Bamboo sector in Ecuador has actively participated in the discussions for the Ecuadorian 2036 Sustainable Habitat Agenda, led by the Ministry of Housing. There is a possibility to build 500 bamboo houses with an interagency support from the Spanish Cooperation Agency, the French Cooperation Agency, the International Development Bank, well, the ministry and local governments. And it's important to mention that bamboo prototypes that we saw required an average of 220 combs, and each preserved comb for construction cost around $9. Another important possibility that should be taken is the reduce of time and cost by pre-assembled panels for construction. Some trials have been done with these pre-assembled panels that are taken to the field, and then time construction reduces importantly. The role of the Bamboo Sectoral Roundtable is also very important. Several experienced construction professionals are part of this roundtable. Governments that are provincial governments that are interested in social housing are also linked somehow to the roundtable. Some universities as well that are developing research on bamboo construction are there too. It is very important to increase available skilled work labor, and there are some experiences on that matter. But there are also some challenges, as the lack of financial instruments for bamboo constructors to compete to traditional bigger constructors. Challenges also for industrial bamboo development, for instance, the decorative panels, construction furniture, and other construction finishes. Now, bamboo is also very important in construction since it could contribute to achieve sustainable development goals, especially number 11, related to sustainable cities and communities. It's important to mention that 50% of the CO2 emissions are linked to conventional construction, whereas constructions with bamboo and this cement and barrique technique reduce the carbon footprint to at least 50% compared to the same construction with conventional materials. Furthermore, Guadua bamboo has earthquake-resistant properties and is locally available, so it contributes to the local economy development. In the current context of the COVID, healthy and more comfortable housing environments are more pertinent than ever. So what are the lessons for developing countries to grow these kind of models where the farmers and the associations could be linked to the constructors, engineers, and architects? First, it's very important to always raise awareness about the bamboo benefits with conferences and seminars to talk about the importance of bamboo and benefits, bamboo competitions to relate constructors, students, architects to the use of bamboo, media participations on TV and radio, have more publications about the use of bamboo and the potential benefits of it, perform training programs. And also it's important to identify the properties of local bamboo resources, its distribution and potential uses. Like species identification, as I told you, Guadua bamboo is the the more available bamboo in Ecuador, and it is very good for construction. And so know the key characteristics, how is it distributed, mapping the bamboo resource available, and also the permanent lobby to promote bamboo on local, national, and regional agendas as a strategic resource for sustainable development is a key element. Here we see working with the former Ministry of Agriculture, the current Ministry of Agriculture, local policymakers like the governor of Manabí, and as we saw before, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Spain. And another thing that is very important is to strengthen local capacities and organizations to promote sustainable use of resources with a strong cultural identity as bamboo that is used in instruments, in houses, in furniture, in weaving, and is part of the productive infrastructure as we talked before. So this is what I wanted to tell you about how bamboo is being used for housing, for social housing projects in Ecuador. Thank you very much for your attention, and it's a pleasure to be with you all.
Yeah, many thanks, Pablo, for your insightful and very clear presentation. And bamboo housing is a very important area across the globe, because to cater to the shortage of housing, and at the same time, so the housing sector is the one which contributes more to the climate change, and bamboo being the climate suitable house, plus it is also a very good material for the carbon sequestration, and it can stay long, and it has additional benefit. The other thing which I observed from the previous two presentations is that in China, the focus is more on moso, which is the Phyllostochus pubescens, and in Ecuador, the focus is more on the Godua bamboo. So probably we will speak about it more in our question and answer session. So the third presentation will be by Tai Ba Phong. He is the Deputy Director, Hook Phong Limited Company in Am Province, Vietnam. His company is a private enterprise which produces very simple handicraft products, and it exports on a very big scale. The company produces handicraft products worth $1 million per year, and then they export it to over 35 countries across the globe. So since Mr. Tai Ba Phong have some health emergency, he couldn't do the presentation on his behalf. Mr. Ko, the Flourish project coordinator and INBAR colleague, will do presentation on Mr. Fong's behalf. The presentation is on how the the private sector owned and private sector craft enterprise is benefiting huge amount of women, and it also contributing to the economy of the country. So the floor is yours, Mr. Kuo.
Yes, full screen, please.
Okay.
Okay, you may start.
Okay. Yes. My one greeting to all the participants from all over the world. I'm very pleased to, on behalf of the Đức Phong representative, Mr. Tai Ba Phong, to present this summaries of the Đức Phong company and what's the Đức Phong company roles in helping the small farmer as improve livelihoods in the rural area in Vietnam, participating into the bamboo value chain. So first of all, I would like to introduce with you the very short introduction about the Dupont company. The company is geography based in Vinh City in the central part of Vietnam. Found on 15th March 1993 as private companies. It then was changed into the limited company in August 2001. The main sector that the company is involved in is handicraft production and business for exporting. The annual turnover is $1 million US, and the main product of the company has been exported to different 35 countries from EU to Canada and Japan. The next slide, I would like to share some information about the general reviews about the bamboo sector in Vietnam and material source for company production. Vietnam has total areas of the bamboo hectare of 1.4 million, which is account for 10% of the total forest, natural forest areas. And the demanding for the bamboo consumption is about 1 billion tons a year. We are now facing some challenge of the bamboo sector is becoming exotic due to the poor management and our harvesting of the bamboo for the raw material. And the potential of bamboo sector is not yet paid high attention in Vietnam, and currently the main bamboo-based products are produced in the nation, including the handicrafts, flooring panel, and construction and bamboo suits. And last year is the total the annual export values of the 2019 were $440 million US. And this slide I would like to present the material input for the farm company to manufacture its products. The main bamboo species used for making the handicraft product is lung. It's a local name for the special lung bamboo species, and its scientific name is a temporary scientific name because we in Vietnam we have not yet identified the official scientific name for the lung species, but currently it is called Bambusa sp. It has some the following characteristics. It has longest thin wood bamboos with 180, and currently the company is involved 400 community workers, mainly is ethnic Thai minority, whereas the lung mainly distributed in the rural mountainous area of Vietnam and Nghệ An province. And plantation and caring sustainable management, that is what we have practiced and developed to the lung bamboo forest. And recently, under the partner support of the Florist project, it means the Florist is a abbreviation name for the forest restoration projects under the Red Plus mechanism, which through the local community, local business partnership between local community and selected private sector. And Đức Phong company were selected as a private sector to a partnership with the local community in Lung bamboo supply chain. So under our florist project support, Đức Phong company have been selected to be a partner to this partnership. And the demands for the annual demand for raw bamboo material of Đức Phong company is about 400 to 500 ton of loom. It's rice looms. And this slide will present you some picture of the product that's manufactured by Đức Phong company. As you can see, that that's a chain from the raw material inputs to the different producing sections and stages. So it becomes the final product. And as a leading companies on the handicraft production in Nghệ An and also in Vietnam, Đức Phong company is well known for the involvement of smallholder in local community to eradicate poverty and to improve their household income. The company has been involved in some involvement activity of local communities, such as they provide a lot of training and to set up the vocational training, like a Đồng Tâm vocational training, and they have set up 31 handicraft villages. This is of factory manufacturing for Đức Phong products, and it has mobile about the 2,000 laborers in peak time, means that of which they have 50 person who are working full time for the company, but when they are needs labor force for outsourcing their product to finalize the final product, they can mobilize up to 2,000 mobile worker to do the work for them. And with the partnership with local communities on supply chain under Florist project in 2019, the company has signed 5 business partnerships with 212 local farmers participated in this 5 PAP. The PAP is mainly on raw material supply chains, and local community are groups in what so-called is a farmer interest group, and the group member outright to the group to sign the PAP with the Đức Phong company, and so far this 5 PAP has been operational since last July up to now, and right now I'm on a mission with Đức Phong company representative to conduct a 1-year operational assessment. So it's the more detail will be made available in the mission report that we can share later to all who are interested. This is some major product of Đức Phong companies. Is for example, like a bamboo lamps. Specification is special lighting effects. It's warm feelings and high techniques. And baskets. So it's this is an inheritance of the traditional handicrafts of Vietnam, and safety to environment and life. simply simple weaving technique and justifiable. Now I would like to focus on the market trends of the product of the company. As you may know, that increasing the demands of the handicraft products in Vietnam in indoor markets is always production capacity, and the prospective market, including the from Europe, like France, Germany, United Kingdom, Denmark, Belgium, and Netherlands, is increasing. So that is a good opportunity for the Đức Phong in the in the future times. And to finals to the I like to share some the challenge and bottlenecks of the handicrafts production in general, and then the Đức Phong company operational in Vietnam. Firstly, about bottlenecks, we have some challenge, for example, like a shortage of the labor work, because all handicrafts are made mainly by the manual worker. But in return, it's the values, the wage or the income from the handicraft sector is a very low in comparison with another sector. So that we are in a very serious shortage of the labor work. The second is that the limited communication and product branding is because we are a private sector company who's based in province, and with a very limited capacity and limited investment in communication and product branding. The next bottleneck is the high cost of the logistics, transportation of material product from the, because the company manufacturing factor is far from the raw material area, about 240 kilometers. So it has generated high cost of the transportation of raw material to the company factory. And the fourth bottleneck is the weak product design capacity. It can associate with the product branding, and the production of the material input is not synchronized. Means that in order to because the company is a producing product based on the customer requirement and demands. So for every contract order, so the company have to produce based on the customer requirement of the product. So it needs, in order to associate with this requirement, the company needs a different description, different type of material inputs. So with the current capacity of the company, so the distribution and categorization of the material in different material input is a big challenge to the company. In this slide, I would like to present some of the opportunity to the handicrafts production sector in Vietnam in general, and to the Đức Phong company in particular. We have not only from the exporting markets. But in Vietnam now we have have a very high market demand of the handicraft products, and consumer both within the country and abroad are changing their interest to the environmental friendly product. And the bamboo's product is now is a good material to replace the scarce woods and plastic product in attempt to cope with the climate change. And the government the bamboo sector is now getting the government concerns. However, the gap still are there in terms of the investment, in terms of the raw material development and planning. And the last opportunity is unsustainable material supply area. Excuse me, this is when we move to the bottleneck. So that is a very short presentation on the farm company. I'm very pleased to provide further information, and if you have directly, or I can, if you have more questions, so I can take note and then have to transfer to the farm company for their feedback and respond in a short time. So thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, many thanks. I think your presentation is like very inspiring. I think the company with small investment could be able to benefit plenty of like some people through the handicraft production. So I would say that this is a very interesting model for the other countries to like some. Yeah, I'm sorry, my internet have some troubles. Let me resume again. I'm saying many thanks.
You were cut off again, Durai.
And then the concept for the enterprise is also quite good. So this is a skill-based activity, and if we could be able to produce the product of a better quality, and the market opportunity is aplenty, both in the country as well as outside the country. And here again, I want to note the same point. If you would have observed Kuo's presentation, he has like some mentioned that they used like a particular bamboo species, which has a very long internode. The same in China, they use like some Phyllostegus pubescens. In Ecuador, they use Godwa, and in Vietnam for this particular kind of product, they have a very particular species to focus on. So it is important for the participants to understand the bamboo raw material is a very important thing to determine like what is the kind of product like which we have to focus on. So with this, I want to like move on to our final but like the most important presenter, Dr. Salim Raza. He is currently the program manager of the Sino Phase 2 program with INBAR. He has over 17 years of experience in cluster-based bamboo enterprise development in India and in East Africa. He is also the recipient of the National Award from the President of India and also the Science and Technology Award from the Government of Tripura. He has contributed to 8 book chapters and like some published over like 30 research articles. His presentation is on the bamboo incense stick community-based business in Tripura, adopting the P4 approach, which means the public, private, and some people's partnership. So Salim, floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, moderator, sir, esteemed panelists and participants, producers and co-producers of this event. Good evening and good afternoon. Welcome to this presentation on bamboo incense sticks Pro-4 business in Tripura P4 approach. Bamboo incense sticks, commonly known as agarbatti, people are using for performing religious activities, room fresheners, and as a mosquito repellent. It is fast moving consumer product having huge market, creating rural employment, particularly the women. The P4 approach was tested through a project supported by INBAR and ODI IDRC. It is a lesson learned how to involve the rural poor in Pro-4 business. Bamboo resources in Tripura. India is having the second largest bamboo resource in the world. Northeast India is the hub of the bamboo resources. Tripura is having 3,673 kilometer square bamboo resource with 21 species. Major species are Melacona baxivera, Bambusa truda, Bambusa cachanensis. 84% of bamboo found in scattered way, primarily in homestead and farm boundary. Remaining are dense and pure bamboo. Annual consumption 5.65 million, equivalent to 56,000 metric ton. Estimated requirement 300,000 metric ton by 2025 for bamboo enterprises. A glimpse on bamboo resource supply chain in Tripura. It is a very beautiful system that developed and use the water transport system through river rafting. Bamboo are coming from the river through river raft, and government develops infrastructure in terms of bamboo market and steady supply chain. As a result, the small producers, manufacturers, primary processors, they are coming and collecting the bamboo in terms of quality and quantity. And it maintained the steady supply chain for the industries and other related sectors in bamboo. Bamboo incense stick enterprise in Tripura. Bamboo incense sticks used to major contributor or contributing the rural economy, creating employment 350,000 mandates for rural area per annum. Majority are women. Major product verticals: raw, round sticks, rolled sticks coated with charcoal and natural adhesive, scented and packed agarbatti end product. And finally, incense sticks sector having the market size around $1 billion per annum. Structure for P4 approach. P4 is a composition of public, private, people partnership. People means either the community, small producer group, artisans, and farmers and growers. It is an innovative ways to produce value for money in public delivery system. Generally, it creates a bottom-up participative planning and decision making, wherein local community can decide and plan in setting an enterprise. Improve the development process, building clear responsibilities and rights among partners. P4 functional approach. Definitely there is a 3P and 1P is the partners. 1P is the government. They create the critical support in terms of infrastructure, policies. Another P is the people and community. It needs their active participation and involvement in the process. And another P is the business houses, farm and community-based organization. There have been some preconditions to implement P4 approach. The buyer, that is the private sector, the business houses, should ensure to buy the product from the community, knowledge transfer of product lines and quality. In terms of the product diversification, knowledge transfer that should give in a transparent manner, facilitate in a transparent manner for the local community. Primary processing facility, market development. Moreover, P4 business approach will create ownership and management, also focus on this side. Therefore, confidence and trust building is very important among three partners, private, government and community. Risk mitigation is one of the area wherein build the major confidence. Risk mitigation in terms of support, soft support, some financial support, common interest. Definitely there is interest from the government for the welfare and well-being of the people. People interest is to improve their livelihood and utilize the natural resources. From private partner side, they can get a good business and scale up their business and create employment. And it should be a participatory manner. Benefits on P4 approach. It facilitates livelihood business opportunity for rural poor. For one who never did any business, they can get a business opportunity in P4 approach. It gives quick return. The bamboo incense sticks is fast moving consumer goods, a huge market, So when they will produce a small quantity, large quantity, they can sell and they can get return. Reasonable investment to set up livelihood business unit. Small producers can start a business with a small support, with a investment, maybe $100, $50, they can start. Capitalize traditional knowledge and wisdom. Before approach, give an opportunity to the local community to use their traditional knowledge. For private entrepreneurs, an opportunity to encash the knowledge, and government, they can give the respect and promote the traditional knowledge and wisdom. Finally, it addressing poverty reduction, environment protection, and gender equality. Poverty reduction, because a small producer group, they are getting regular market and earnings. So it helps to reduce their poverty and hunger and support to their family. Secondly, environmental protection. So they are small producer group, they are regularly planting bamboo and harvesting bamboo in a scientific way, in a homestead, home boundary, and also participatory approach in a forest area, so that they can protect the resources in a commune plantation system and management. So this is also another area of the environmental protection. So large bamboo protection plantation control soil erosion and also the water conservation. Gender equality or equity, we can also visible and ensure in P4 approach. Women are producing, male are procuring the bamboo, women are making and processing, and male and female are selling to the market. And they are negotiating with the bar traders. So these are the opportunity for the women and that in P4 approach. Enabling frameworks for P4 approach. The three partners are here: government, community, and private partners. From government side, provide the hard support, land, building, infrastructure, policies, also, and convergences and risk mitigations. These are the expectation for government side to ensure P4 approach. Community side, the huge plantation they should ensure for the homestead plantation, farm boundary plantation, commune plantation, and participatory forest management. They ensure and they will harvest on sustainable way and practice the storing and management system. Similarly, the community also ensure their contribution and management in terms of plantation contribution and also protection of the plantation. And steady supply chain they will ensure for the industry as well as the local community level production. Private partner, they will support the soft support. They create an environment so that small producers will encourage to produce and ensure the forward linkages for end market. And partly risk mitigation for the community. There are some bottleneck and opportunities in P4 approach. Bottleneck in terms of the enabling policy and strategy. P4 approach is missing in a different location because there is no certain guidelines to such kind of approach, but it is coming up. So in bamboo sectors, we need an enabling policy and strategy to implement the P4 approach. Strengthen value chain, all value chain, that is end market value chain, and horizontally and vertically, it is also one of the bottleneck. Product standardization is working with the community. So to standardize a product in a short time, it is difficult. So it is a bottleneck. Financial services, the working capital, other financial service in terms of the money, working capital. This is another bottleneck for P4 approach to get immediate arrange the capital. Risk mitigation, business development services, and extensive research and development in the community level. So these are the challenge or bottleneck, sorry. But we have some opportunity to implement and test P4 approach. Design suitable policy and strategy as per local frame condition so people can learn and test P4 approach. It should be a bottom-up approach, not the top-down approach. Upgrade value chains in local level. As a result, a small producer can participate in domestic market. Standardization of the product can enhance the capacity and it will give an opportunity to participate in international market. Microfinance, venture capital, and working capital. These are the financial packages have the opportunity to invest in the P4 approach in a particular community-based micro-enterprise setting. Critical support and convergence, there is also opportunity. So different organizations, different development partners can converge their programs in P4 approach or develop in a local area as a so that they can see the visible result. Facilitate in build BDS, set start a business development services for the community knowledge hub for the technology, market informations, and product pricing. These are the knowledge can capture and can easily teach and educate for capacity building of the local community through P4 approach. Product, process, and technology transfer, it is also very easy way in P4 approach. Lessons for developing countries in Global South from P4 approach. It is workable and doable approach for African and developing countries. Possible way to capitalize bamboo resource. So local community will evolve in a larger volume, large scale. So we can use the resource. Building confidence to the partner. So different investors can invest so they can see the visible result. Optimum use of public investment. Focusing SDG 1 for reducing poverty or end poverty. SDG 2, zero hunger. SDG 5, gender equality. SDG 5, local economic development and growth. And SDG 17, partnership. So these are the 4, 5 SDG can easily address through P4 approach. Creating platform for private investors. Private investor can see the visible outcome. With small producers when come together, they can create more product, volume of product. So that will be the good opportunity for the private investor to invest and set up a business. Promoting market for rural poor. Rural poor definitely can getting opportunity to participate in the market, in domestic, local and regional, and also international market through P4 approach. Scope to strengthen local value chain in bamboo sector, replicable in the rural livelihood sector. In addition, bamboo we can also replicate in natural resource sectors, livelihood sector, and animal husbandry sectors, we can implement and replicate this P4 approach.
So I think we have completed all the 4 presentations now. I want to thank all of them for the presentation. Now we have about half an hour where we can focus about 3 questions each for the presenter. So I want to start the first question with Professor Zhu. The question is on, so what is the current utilization rate and like what should be done to improve the utilization rate? So if you see in Africa, if you see in like many other countries, even in the China in the previous time, the utilization rates were low. So what has been done to improve the utilization rate and what is the current utilization rate of the bamboo biomass?
Okay, can hear me?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. I think the utilization rate of corn, this is a very important question because even I was been in Vietnam in 1990s. In Vietnam also produced the mats, very beautiful, but and also raw material, only 1/4 of China. But the competition between China products and the Vietnam products, the China products much lower than the Vietnamese products. Why? Because the utilization rate is very low in Vietnam. In China, the utilization rate is high. So the cost is lower than Vietnamese products. This is the story. And the utilization rate, the key point is we should avoid the company that buy their raw material directly from local people and then process until the final products, single products. That is the reason why utilization rate is so low. So later on, the company find the best way, we establish a pre-processing factory, and every company who produce different type of the products, so they use different parts of the corms, even the leftover materials. So this is the utilization rate from 20, around 20 to now is 85% to 92%. This is the highest because if we see the picture I show you, 16% is strips for the flooring and for the sticks, for the curtain and the mats. Only 16%. Other parts is so-called the waste part. But for the different part is for the different products is the best materials. So 40% of the sawdust is a large quantity, but now in Anji is a shortage of sawdust because there is good for the particle board and for the pallet, for the energies, and also for the charcoals. So now this so-called the raw material, the waste material now become a shortage of the materials for the certain kind company. So why we said that the utilization rate, they cannot 100%. Why? Because 8% is they lost from lost for evaporation, because we discussed about the fresh bamboo. When they transport in the pre-processing factory and put in the factory 1 day, 3 days, 4 days, they must have lost their weight because evaporation. Another part is they become a dust. So this dust is a very small grain, so cannot be used. So that is 8%. This part is cannot be used. So according present moment, the highest utilization cannot over 92%. This is my answer.
Yeah, I think the answer is like very clear. Now the second question is to Mr. Pablo. So it is on like a bioclimatic house. So we have seen the bioclimatic house like a model has been developed. So is there a mechanism which has been like some put in place to upscale it and like replicate it? And like what is the role of the government or like some public institutions to promote the bamboo housing so that the similar model can be replicated in Africa or like some elsewhere? So this is a question, sir. Pablo, please go ahead, sir.
Well, thank you very much for the interesting question. All the prototypes that were shown need to be approved by the Ministry of Urban Development and Housing, and the bioclimatic house we showed has been approved. So any social housing project that the government is implemented can select from the prototypes that are approved to implement that that prototype. In this case, well, it has been approved, but it's interesting to know that the fact that having an approved prototype doesn't mean that it's going to be constructed. Now, and this relates to the second part of the question. One of the laws that I told you about in the presentation promotes the use of alternative materials, such as bamboo, not specifically bamboo, but alternative materials in general. We are conducting a study to relate financial and non-financial instruments to promote bamboo construction. And this is one of the things that we are focusing on, how this law that promotes the use of alternative materials can be a practical action by promoting this kind of construction, especially in social housing.
Yeah, so it is great. I think the next like some question is to like some Mr. Kuo. So the question is, so in the current like some COVID problem or in the current like some COVID situation, you might have faced problems with the supply chain as well as the production, because a supply chain is quite long and it involves like some plenty of like some people in the handicraft sector. So how do you solve if you had problems with regards to COVID like some management?
Yeah, thank you, Durai, for the question. Yes, in regarding your question, I would like to provide some real information from the grounds. As a florist, is now supporting to connect the local community with the selected private sector. It's a different company. So in the business partnership on the long bamboo supply chains. But you know, as a COVID-19 operates, nowadays they have a big the challenge that is the company is getting the very getting the high demand from the outside country customer. But the thing is, they cannot manage to have enough raw material because of the when in Nghệ province in now and India is experiencing the second outbreaks of the COVID-19. So the first outbreaks will happen from March to May. So and during this time the quarantine or social distancing will apply. So and local people cannot go to the forest to do the harvesting. So this is a sudden situation that company like a Đức Phong was not planned for. So they have to pause their production for a while, let's say a month, because the shortage of the raw material. Luckily, after the social distance completed in May, the company is allowed to access to the raw material area and to order to the local community for the raw material, and the local community are also allowed to do the harvesting. That is so that's why the raw material are ensured to be maintained, supplying to the company. And another challenge to the Đức Phong company is that long bamboo species is natural grown in the natural forest. So it has not been because it's a unique and new discovery species in Vietnam. So propagation of this for the intensive farming of long species is not yet developed. So main raw materials of long species are coming from the natural forest, like protection forests and plantation forests, and which we have the laws on that the harvesting of long is not will be prohibited for some months during the year for the new bamboo to grow up. So this is also a challenge for the company like a Đức Phong. So they need to be to build a very good storage to manage the raw material in preservation, to make sure it has the raw material for producing around the year. So that is hopefully that's some response to the question.
Yeah, I think it is clear. The important thing is we have to ensure the availability of the raw material of a particular species is the most important criteria in the handicraft production, is what Mr. Ko is mentioning. Now I'm sorry, Salim, we couldn't hear your presentation properly due to the internet connectivity issue. So I will give you say So I want to ask you from your presentation that you have like an enabling framework for the P4 approach. You have the government, you have the community, and you have the private sector plus the social entrepreneur. So can you elaborate on the role of the different like parties, the government, the communities, and the social and the private sector for the benefit of our participants?
In P4 approach, the government in this respect, they will provide the infrastructure, enabling policies, support, and strategy, so that the entrepreneur can invest very easily, and they can think this is a good place or good area for the investment. This is the role of the government side. So this is the 1P. Another P is the public. Public is the actual beneficiary of the community. It may be small producers, joint forest management group, self-help groups, whatever may be. So they should have some relationship, and they can supply the quality raw material. They can grow their bamboo and their homestay, farm boundary, and harvest the quality resources. So this is their role and responsibility. And similar way, they can also contribute some labor and cash contribution. So in case of if they set up some unit like a primary processing center, so in that case their ownership will build up, community ownership will be there. And third P is the private businessman. So a private businessman, they can link and they can ensure their to supply chain, that means the forward linkages. So buy their product. So in the small producer group, they will not be disheartened, and they can ensure and they can get confidence that their product will go to the market and regular supply chain is there, and it can help improve their livelihood. So these are all the framework of P4 approach.
Yeah, great, Salim. And then the follow-up question is for Professor Zhu. The question is, Anji has achieved like a remarkable success in the bamboo sector. So the important question here is like, what is the system? What is the supporting framework? Like, what is the system put in place to achieve the remarkable success, and who has played a major role, like whether it is the government, like whether it is the private sector, whether it is like a policy. So what is the system put in place, and then who took like a major lead to achieve it is a question. Professor Lu, please.
This is a good question, because for the Anji bamboo sector development, I divide in 5 stages. Different stages, they have different priorities. For instance, the first stage is a traditional stage, but the most important is the resources. Increase the quantity and the quality of the bamboo comb and the bamboo shoots. This stage, and until 4th stage, most important is the environment improvement. So the 2nd stage is the most important, is increase the value of the bamboo forest, increase the economy, increase the skill of the processing. So that is for the economy development. So in the 3rd stage, the government pay more attention ecology and environment. So the company, they have to follow the government strategy. So every stage, they have own needs and priorities and conflict. So they have to take different policies, different strategy, So planning is one of very important. This is most important is the government. The different states, they have a different policy to solve the problems, conflict. So this is one. Another is the most important engine for promote the industry development. That is a company, because the company, they bring the local people to provide the opportunity of job and also the products marketing and also new technology inventory. So this is second very important factor for promote forward of the bamboo sector development. Another, I think the most important is we call the multiple participation. It means the government, enterprise, and the farmers and experts, they should join together for development. And also they are lying each other and have a benefit share each other is a stakeholder. So that we call the multiple participation is another very important.
Yes. Yes, so it is great. The important thing is the government should take the lead. The private sector should also participate strongly, and at the same time some multi-stakeholder coordination with all the actors in the sector has to be key, and the action plan has to be amended and then some coordinated as it goes on. Now the second question to Mr. Pablo is, it is about the National Construction Standard Code. I think Ecuador and Peru, you guys have been promoting the Bamboo Construction Standard Code. How effective are these Bamboo Standards Construction Code in influencing the government for approval, and at the same time, how confident are the commercial banks in extending the credit to the housing sector? Yes, Mr. Pablo.
Thank you for the questions. Well, yes, the National Construction Code for Guadua bamboo use in construction is a very important tool, because now you have regulated the use of bamboo. It's not only a traditional material that is used without any other study, but right now it's more professional. So you have less barriers to incorporate bamboo. And a show of that is the examples we saw on the presentation about how the government is including bamboo on their social housing project. And this is important because there is like a fear to include bamboo, and the structural part is one element of that fear. So the code reduces that fear and promotes the use of bamboo. And for the commercial bank interest on finance this kind of housing, well, in general, there are some bank lines that are promoting alternative construction or sustainable construction. They are focused more on in terms of electricity use and so on, but bamboo can easily be part of this. This is being explored right now. Actually, we are having some discussions with some banks from the private and public sector in order to make a clear line of finance for this type of construction where bamboo plays a key role.
Great. Yeah, I think it is clear. And then the next question is to Mr. Kuo. And in the presentation, I have seen that you have like 31 craft villages and about 2,000 craftsmen who like work on a part-time like some basis. Yeah, the question of a participant is like what like the mechanism have been like some put in place and how the supply chain is organized to like some benefit or to produce in the place of the worker. I don't think all the craftsmen will come to the factory and produce, or is the factory only producing few components and finishing and the actual production is happening in the craftsman's house. The participant want to know what mechanism has been like put into place to like make sure the production is happening with the involvement of like some multiple people. Yeah.
Thank you, Durais. Yes, in answering question, I would like to mention that because all the handicrafts product currently is made by the Dukfang company as based on the manual worker, and for the with the current capacity, Dukfang as mentioned in my presentation, is the big challenge for Dukfang is now is the extremely shortage of the full-time worker, manual worker. So the company have a strategy that to outsource some of the production steps with an aim that to creating the job for the village craftsmen nearby the company within the province to have a job to do on the free time. So this mechanism is that the company will send the unfinished products, uncompleted products to the village of the craftsmen who have been trained by the Dukfang company to finalize the product. And then after for some time, the company going back to the village and to collect the final complete product. And in returns, the company should pay the craftsmen, village craftsmen per let's say based on the volume of the work completed. It can be waste, it can be daily payments, it can be weekly payments. So the farmer can, the local villager can do it in their free time, and then they can earn additional income. And this is quite a simple job because all the village craftsmen has been trained by the farm company, so they are capable to do it at homes when they have a time, and the income mainly go to the household wife, the elderly people, including the disabled people in the village. So it's make a good income for these people group. And I would like to mention more about the benefits that the partnership with Dukfang company can bring to the local community in the project area. You know that currently local community in project area is facing with the lack of the very committed and long-term consumer of their raw material, like loam especially. So every crops harvested, they are waiting for the private trader coming from different regions in Vietnam to come to buy their raw material. So by setting the partnership with the farm companies, so we have a help to local community to identify the sustainable purchaser to their raw material of loam species. So that will help them to to set a long-term selling of their lung special to the farm company. And the second is that the farm company will help the local community to increase their household income from the lung harvesting by adding more pre-processing activity on site, so that local people can have more jobs instead of selling their raw material to the company. So they can do some pre-processing activity like cutting into the required section and removing skin and get it dry and do stripping, make strip to the company requirement for different products category. So this will help to create jobs for the local community in the project area, and also to build the capacity for local community so that they can now over 100 local farmers who are participate in this partnership has been capable of increasing the income from the lung harvesting through the entering the pre-processing activity of lung bamboo. So that is some first achievement the company and the local community have created in lung value chain under our florist facilitation.
Great. I think like a company is important, or a private sector, or like some entrepreneur is important, who actually sits in like some middle of the value chain, which actually like some benefits the farmer as well as the consumers and all those involved into the value chain. So it is interesting, and then it is important as well. So I will actually go to Salim for his question. So can you please illustrate a bit on like what kind of context and in what kind of enterprise model we can apply the P4 approach?
We can apply in a very small enterprises, basically the cluster development approach, maybe 500 household to 1,000 household we can involve, so it can work very nicely, and that is the very helpful for the local partners and private entrepreneur, as well as the we can say some investors, maybe some social entrepreneur, they can come and invest in the sector. So based on the craft as well as the incense sticks, all these sectors, we can apply this P4 approach, but very best and suitable for the going for the cluster based approach. Now you can take the example, the government of India currently Atmanirbhar Bharat, these are self-reliant schemes. They are going through for P4 approach. They are providing indirectly it is a P4 approach, and some government is providing the work capital like a hard support and also the soft support, and they link with the private businessman, and they are coming together and developing a micro cluster, and in that way this is sector is functioning. So startup as well as the Atmanirbhar Bharat, these two flagship schemes of the government of India, they are focusing on P4 approach, and it is now on track.
Great, Salim. I think in the interest of time, I think we don't have so much time. So I would have, I think like some short questions to all of you, and then we can close the session. And then for Professor Zhu, we have an interesting question. In the presentation and in his talk, I mention of household contract like some management system where the bamboo forest is allocated to a farmer for like 30 years, and the farmer and about 97% of the forest is currently managed by the community. Why I am asking this question is like because if we see most of the bamboo growing countries except China, most of the bamboo forest is unmanaged. This is a very good system where the bamboo forest is provided to the farmers, to the community, so that they can manage it and some benefit from it, and at the same time some sustainably harvest it. Could you please elaborate on it, Professor Lu? Sorry, Professor Zhu. I'm sorry.
I think these questions is we have to see the story of development of bamboo sector in the initial stage, and that is before the open policy. The bamboo forest managed by collective. So every farmer only contributed a labor to manage the forest. So they don't own the forest. So the income is become to the collectives, the community, and then they share the benefit. But after open policy, they have a contract to manage the forest by the household. So the first period is a contract is 30 years, now extended to 50 years. So the farmer in the beginning, they are very, very welcome this kind of policy, because they have right to manage, right own the all the income is goes to themselves. So this is they're very welcome. But until year 2015 around, the people less interested to manage the forest. Why? Because the young people always go to city and to do another industry. So, and also in the village, always the senior people and the young children. So they don't have a capacity to manage the bamboo forest, especially harvest. Harvest is a very high labor, hard work. So this is difficult. But the cost of the labor, they have to invite the labor from other countries. Very high cost. Every day they have to pay $50 to $60 a day for the bamboo harvest. So this is the owner of the forest almost no benefit, no extra income. So this is why the less interest most of the farmer. So the government now encourage the farmer to put their management right to the collectives, and they share the right of management. And also the farmer can get some back from collective management, because that is a large scale. We can have because large scale is a better, how to say, is a better investment. So this is the change the situation. Yeah. So why every different stages should have a different policies and also different measures to solve the conflict.
Okay, great. I think this is about an cycle in the initial
this
phases.
is why in my book we talk about the bamboo sector life cycle. In Japan, first they developed the best over the world, but are now going down. Taiwan also. So this is why, Anji, we must solve the problem how to solve the bamboo sector life cycle.
Yes. Yes. So I think the same kind of the situation is not applicable to countries like outside China, like because we haven't like some reached a stage of the economic progression and economic growth as the China has done or Anji has done. So the short question to like some Mr. Pablo is how the bamboo are being treated, and like what is the durability of the houses being constructed? How long the houses survive after it is constructed?
Thank you. The preservation of the bamboo, it is treated by immersion in boron salts with boron and boric acid, and houses can last 30 years by the least, but there are experiences with houses that are way more than that. Actually, there is a so-called grandparents' house in Manabi that has more than 100 years. And so, yes, it will last a very long time.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think like some Jinwai, I think you can please like some mute your mic, please. And then the question is to like Mr. Ho, and a participant from India is asking that we have like many restrictions like related to the movement of like some bamboo from like one place to another. Is there any government regulation or is there any government guidelines like related to harvesting, transporting, or trade barriers with regards to like some bamboo?
Yes, thank you for your question. Yes, as in my presentations, I have mentioned that because bamboo in general and is quite currently receiving very low attention from the public in Vietnam. So that's in Vietnam. So that why and for lung in particular, we have a for another special species of bamboo are allowed to for harvesting, as it can be planted in the plantation forest. But bamboo are grouped as non-timber forest products in Vietnam. So we have not yet separate policy for the bamboo development sector, but it's joined with the anti-AP policy. So it shares the same policy with the anti-AP. And for lung bamboo species, currently the government have through the forest ranger, we have a forest laws on allowing harvesting times. It means that around years from the 5 to 8 months, around the years are allowed for the harvesting, and for the rest period of time is of harvesting is prohibited for the recovering and for the development of the bamboos, lung bamboos. So this is some had been regulated in the laws. And for the exporting and manufacturing, we have nowadays the concerns to the long bamboo has been increasing by the public, including the government. So we have so many incentive policy. For example, like if there's forestry cooperatives is established, so you will be in charge for the supporting of the technical training and some investment incentive for investment and the support to access to the finance sources like a loan from the banks for the investment in the bamboo development activity. So that is some major incentives and regulation and from the government currently in operation in Vietnam regarding the supporting the bamboo development sector.
Okay, yeah, I think it is clear. Now the final question is to Dr. Salim. Based upon your experience, yes, Mr. Salim.
Yeah, I didn't hear that because there's a net connection. Please repeat the question. Hello, can you repeat this question?
Yes. So how important is the private sector to drive the P4 model to achieve its objective?
Private sector is playing a major role in P4 sector because we can say that they are the front vehicle, then a wheel of a vehicle. So after the production, you have to sell to the market. So small producers group, they don't have the access to the market, much access. So they are always in a problem and a trap. So if there is a linkages with a very potential and sustained business houses, so they can do the very good business with confidence and they can also do the scale up. So in that respect, the private sector is playing the major role in P4 approach.
Okay, great, Salim. Yeah, I think we have reached to the final stage of our webinar because we still have plenty of some questions for our participant. I think we are already over our time. So I want to thank Professor Zhu, Pablo, Huo, Fong, and Salim for their excellent presentation as well as answering the questions very efficiently. And then I want to thank Jinwai and Xingwai for their production and some co-production. I want to thank all the participants who has taken out the time to join in our webinar. So I would thank all of you and I wish you some good evening, good night, some good morning into the participants from a different time zone. So yeah, I thank you very much and we can formally close the webinar now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.